the CPI report has come out for the month of June, and we got some more great news.
Yeah, amazing inflation news.
Really good stuff. So we have month-to-month inflation being 0.2%. Last month it was 0.1%, but 0.2, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to see it. We have the 12%, the 12-month change down at 3% for the month of June.
Yeah.
Which is just an incredibly huge improvement from last month of June being at 9%.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really in the right direction. If you remove, so that is with all items, food, energy. If we remove food and energy, because as we discussed, that is the most volatile things, and we talk about core CPI, core inflation, it's at 5.8%. Still decreasing, not as rapidly decreasing as overall general inflation.
Is it 5.8? Okay, I thought it was 4.8.
4.8, you're right.
Okay.
No, it's 4.8, you're right.
Okay. Which is still less than economists were predicting.
Yes, still all of this was still less than economists were predicting. This blew everyone out of the water. This is what we wanted to see. So what's really dragging down the CPI is coming from energy costs. Over a 12-month time frame, we're seeing fuel oil drop 36%. We have gasoline dropping 26%, and utility piped gas services dropping 18% since last year. So all that's amazing stuff. Yeah. The sticking point here is shelter. The shelter index was the largest factor in the monthly increase for all items. All other indexes were good except for shelter. And shelter is going to be the one that it's going to be hard to bring down. It's kind of, especially since people sign leases for rents, it's kind of hard to adjust prices downward. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean.
Well, like we sign a lease that had a 10% raise increase.
Sure.
That's what it is for the next year. That's what it is. I can't get out of that.
Yeah.
So now that's kind of stuck there.
True.
So only new rental units have the opportunity to bring it down.
So as far as year over year, that's kind of just what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah, the year over year is going to be hard to bring down for a while. But, you know, the way that the interest rates hike works, they are going to be most effective in bringing demand for housing down, because the demand for housing is very highly correlated with your interest rate. Yes. Demand for housing goes way up when interest rates are down because the monthly payments are way cheaper. Yeah,
it's going to bring demand for housing down, but there still is a high demand for housing because we have a housing shortage.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. I've read about in the Boston area specifically, we have a massive housing shortage. And the market is kind of stuck because even if people do want to move, not only is there not enough housing for anyone, but also they are in mortgages where they maybe have a 3% interest rate. And right now, if all they're getting offered is 6%, no one's going to take that. And if there isn't movement, then you also can't allow people to get out of rent. So there are fewer first-time home buyers. The market is just kind of stuck in every way right now.
Yeah. I want to talk about this from the political perspective now. This is kind of ruining the Republican narrative of that the economy is really bad and everything is terrible, because it's not anymore.
It wasn't even before.
Right.
I don't think. Like, inflation was the only thing they had to hang their hat on.
Yeah. And now that that's going away, I don't want to say it's gone because you don't want it at, 3%. You want it like 2, but that's not.
Oh, I thought 3 was okay.
3 is fine. You want the Federal Reserve's goal is 2%.
Okay.
But economists are arguing that maybe 3% is the new normal.
Okay.
And people are suggesting, why did we even have 2% in the first place? Maybe 3%. I've heard some people saying the 3.5. Like, it's a debate. The point is, it's in the range of normality now.
Sure.
It's not out of the ordinary. Core inflation, I still want to see come down because energy prices are so volatile.
Yeah.
You could definitely see something happening in the oil industry brings these prices back up. Yeah. And then we have the inflation narrative starting up again.
Well, to me, that's almost an argument for just trying to become more self-dependent as far as oil. I saw a video recently about how the reason that we import a lot of oil is because there's a different type of crude that we are better equipped to refine. and the stuff that we actually drill in American waters or on American soil is not that same oil.
Right.
But on the other hand, American refiners are becoming more aware of geopolitical tensions getting in the way of their supply chains. So they are probably going to be building out a better capacity for the type of oil that we actually drill.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that means that we can maintain stable energy prices.
And that would be the goal. And I think like the only thing that I'm concerned about with refiners is I don't think they're going to have they don't have the long-term incentive to build up their infrastructure because of climate change. Yeah. And we don't want to be using this oil 25, 20 years from now, 15 years from now. We don't want to be using it. Mm-hmm. And they know that that's the government's direction. And they don't want to be investing large dollars knowing that that's the way that the world is going.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it hard to build up those new refineries. You know,
I get that.
I don't know what the solution is to that.
No.
Unless you just want to say a publicly funded massive refinery program that is a government-owned corporation that's going to be in the business of doing refining of oil.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, but I don't think that's feasible.
There is no political gain to be had there.
No,
because leftists will hate it because it's still oil refinery, and the right wing will hate it because it's a massive government corporation.
You know what? I might go down the middle here. I think 10% of the left would hate it because it's destruction of climate or bad for climate. I think 10% of the right will hate it because it's government overreach. But I think a lot of people would see their gasoline and their fuel prices go down and they'd be like, this is great.
I don't think...
You don't think that would work?
I don't think that's how it'd be publicized.
Sure. It wouldn't be publicized.
Because they wouldn't see the prices change until the operation was in effect.
True.
So as soon as the planning was being floated, everyone would shit on it.
No, you're totally right. You're totally right. But yeah, so that was the CPI report. Really amazing stuff.
Went well.